Well, that was weird. 8. That's gonna be. Yay, more emojis! Get a bit! Oh, you're dancing. Put your hands up. Thank you, everyone. Real quick, Anna, if you can just look below on your right and mirror yourself on air and make sure you're on air so everyone in the other rooms can see you. Hi, guys. We have a full house tonight. I'm Vivian. This is the Hive.
Sorry,
what's wrong?
You said no one can see me? No?
Oh, no. Do you see where it says on air?
Yeah, my bracelet, yeah.
On air. Just hit on air on the right.
Okay.
Kayla will help. Well, while she's getting set up, you guys just came from town hall. How was it? I heard there was some new stuff like hats and beards. And honestly, I heard you guys, we can have glasses now, and that's awesome because that's kind of my thing. I'm totally into glasses. And sometimes the people behind them. So I'm excited. So if you guys just, put on glasses, that'd be so awesome. I would totally love that. Well, I was getting ready. Are you? Is she? Someone will tell us. But we're going to talk about Pixel Rip today and the 80s. We're also going to give away some keys to the game, either on Steam or Oculus. If you guys have questions, please look in the bottom right. It'll say ask a question. It will have this right here. So don't use this as a hi. That's for a question, and then we'll call on you afterwards. So also, if you happen to beam up on stage at any time, we will just start interviewing you. So just letting you know that now. So anyway, welcome, Anna. I've actually hung out with her. We hung out in California, Facebook and stuff. So
great to actually meet in real life. It's great to see people in the metaverse, and thanks for having me here. And
of course, no,
especially when we met in real life, it's great.
I know, and you were actually wearing this outfit, so. Here we are. Oh, yeah, yep. This is us right here at Oculus 5. I actually.
Oh yeah. That's not me. I was wearing the Dot cosplay. Yeah.
She wore it all week. It was great. It was fantastic.
This is my normal me now. Actually, I feel more comfortable like that.
Oh really? Have you ever accidentally hit me with that or purposely?
On the left, I'm cosplay. On the right is me.
Wait, is that Pac-Man? Is that Pac-Man dress?
Huh?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, that's Pac-Man dress with pockets on it. I love
Anna, your megaphone is on the right. It should say on air and megaphone.
It's okay, she's super hot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is okay. She's super hot, and that's true. Yes, I agree.
Thank you. My megaphone, is it better now?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It was just me previously. Sorry, they were out eating, and you're from Brazil right now, right? So you're in Brazil.
Yeah,
it's like 1:30 in the morning. So thank you. Thanks for coming on. Okay, so let's talk about you first. Come on closer, just a little bit closer. Closer to me. Okay, too close. Whoa, calm down. All right, cool.
I know I can move my mouth.
All right.
So, you can move if you move.
First of all, who here has played Pixel Rip? Because I have. If you haven't played it, you probably heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, you're living in a rock, because this game is like the hottest game. It is a lot of buzz around it, award-winning. Everyone talks about it. There's a ton of reviews. There's an active community. So it's a very, very cool retro game. Retro stuff is really in right now. So I'm just super excited to have Anna on here. Actually, she begged me to be on here.
Thank you. So wow.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
I'm kidding.
Hope people don't feel disappointed. I've said so many good things about the game, but thank you so much.
So a bunch of us actually watched your TED Talk, and it was really inspiring. You talked a lot about what you did beforehand. Can you just briefly talk about what you did before you got into game development?
Trying to summarize as quick as I can, I 7 years ago, I used to work for the Justice Council, and I had a kind of boring bureaucratic work. I used to basically type documents for the judge and divorce. And I ended up, as a form of running from that work, I ended up selling pies at work and ended up going out of control. And in 4 months, I was selling like 4,000 pies. And I ended up becoming a small business. I had this small business of pies. I was kind of administrating. And then when I did a course to actually open the business and make the pie shop, I realized I was in the wrong business. I grew up playing video games, but I never thought, oh my God, I could actually work with video games. So it was so clear right in front of me and I couldn't see. And that course really helped me to see it clear. Oh my God, my true love is video games. So I decided to leave that job and sold my car and I went crazy. I'm gonna work with video games now. And I traveled to England and I started to learn video games from zero. So I had no experience at all programming. I didn't know what was Unity. I didn't know even what was Photoshop. And I started this 7 years ago, studying games programming at SAE in London. Then I ended up doing a master's degree at the NFTS, discovering I could do a master's degree in games with the psychology course I had done previously. And then this was 2 years, and actually I'm pretty new in the business and the video games industry. Pixel Rep is actually my first game. It was a student project, was the graduation project of the NFTS. And I keep working on that for 4 years, and here you go, it's finally released, but it's my first game. I'm still learning a lot. Did I make it really quick?
No, that was perfect. So you said you grew up playing games. What was your first game experience?
Wow. So I have 3 brothers, and I'm pretty lucky to grow up in a family that I have 3 brothers. So we had video games since I can remember. The first console we had is something called the Odyssey 2. Anyone know what is this? It's from the
Odyssey?
Atari
Anyone?
era. I was a competitor of the Atari.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Odyssey 2, man, long time. So yeah, this is the first console I remember, and we also had Atari. I remember playing Frog. Maybe it was the first game I can remember, but I was too young. And later we had like we grew up playing so we had actually a console called Phantom System. It's a console that just exists in Brazil. And it's crazy. So in Brazil, we had this console called Phantom System before Nintendo was in Brazil. And you could play Nintendo games with Sega Genesis controllers. And it was crazy. We grew up saying, this is the best console ever. And we had this console too. I remember we had Mega Drive, and we have Nintendo 64 and so on. So we grew up. It made part of my childhood, video games all the time. This photo here, I'm actually playing Counter-Strike 1.6. This is a long time ago. Look at that monitor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can tell this is like 2000s. And I had a female Counter-Strike team, and we were at the time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was awesome times. I think if you guys from the era, you remember this team was being created, and I remember I created my Steam account because of Counter-Strike at the time, and we are supported by the Cyber Cafe, and we're kind of professional players. But at the time, you wouldn't get a salary. It wasn't like nowadays that you actually make a career of being a gamer. At the time was the start of that, and we just basically got shirts, and we didn't pay to play games on the Cyber Cafe, and we got basically sponsored to go represent the Cyber Cafe at the competitions. It was good times. Actually, the friends I met during this period are still one of my best friends. We have a WhatsApp group, and we still keep in touch, but like all girls, and we're like best friends. And yeah, video games basically summarizing have been part of good moments of my life.
So how did you move from video games into VR video games?
So I got my DK1 first time I tried VR. This is like 2013. I tried VR for the first time. I got mind blowing. I was like, oh my God, I have to get this. So I got a friend from university, he had one, and he showed me how to get one. I got a DK1, and I was just trying to make something with it. Every project, since I tried VR, every project at the university I was trying to make with VR. But it was hard to, because it's a film school. So at the beginning, VR was kind of weird, and my director,
It still is
the course,
the same.
yeah, my course coordinator was like, "Oh, but VR, how you can do storytelling with VR? It's not possible." This is when we are starting, so it was still a big thing, a big different thing, work with VR. So I struggle a lot, but at the last year, I could actually do whatever I want. So I did a VR game, and I was sure I wanted to do something for VR, but use the best of VR, not just make a camera and put it there in the scene. I wanted to make a game that could just be done with VR. So Pixel Rep really fit well for the design. And I started working since the beginning. So since the ground up for Pixel Rep was made for VR. And since then, my goal is to just keep working in VR now. After Pixel Rep series, my goal is to keep working in VR, AR games.
So here's a bunch of photos of you at different conferences. I keep track of you online on social media, and we're friends on Facebook, and you're like constantly traveling everywhere and promoting it and all of that. How is that?
So this is actually Gamescom here in Brazil. It's one of the biggest. It's actually Comic-Con. Sorry, Gamescom. It's the biggest Comic-Con in the whole world. Is here in Brazil, and we went there. Caleb is here. Is actually here on the show over there.
Hi, Caleb.
So
she's blushing.
Yeah, we have to go for. At least I try to be as most as I can in most events. It's hard to go everywhere, but yeah, especially now with the release of the game, I tried to be present on like OC5, and there was Indicate, the game was there, VR Awards in England.
Yeah, I saw
the
you
game was there.
that.
So at some point I was traveling for like 2-3 months, and I got back here to Brazil, and now we go back to development now. We actually start working in the new Pixel Rift at Avery, the publisher of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got back from all this travel, and now we're trying to settle a little bit, actually focus on development for now. But yeah, it's I try to be the most I can in all events, but now we are focused on development. But when we promoting the game, it's always good to be present, not just for promoting the game, but actually to be able to meet people like you in person, and our VR folks that we all meet here in the metaverse. Yeah, this was awesome.
So can we go back to the picture with the Olympic torch? I want to ask you about that. Here we are. Can you tell us about you holding the torch?
Some crazy photos there. So let me explain a little bit. The Olympic torch, I wasn't expecting at all. This was a big surprise for me. Nissan and Coca-Cola, they were like indicating, selecting for people to represent the country to carry the torch during the Olympics, and I was really lucky to be selected as a person to represent not just women in gaming, but VR too. So I run the torch with Gear VR headset on my head. And they're looking for people, at the time they explained to me, we are looking for people with brave stories, people that moved careers and did something crazy in life, people that take the risk and change or did something brave. And the reason they indicated me is because I left my stable career. Where I used to work was considered like a dream job for many Brazilians. And leaving that job and working in video games and I ended up becoming a pioneer virtual reality in my country. So that was one reason, and I'm really lucky. I never thought I would carry an Olympics torch. It's actually in my home now, and it's there. You can actually keep the torch, which is awesome. And it was hard, but I made it to carry the headset in my head. It was really hard.
Yes, I was gonna say, the headset? Why? How? and safety?
It was hard, I tell you. Like, I had to fight for it. And it wasn't easy. Like, I explained the reason I wanted to carry the headset. When you're carrying the torch, you weren't allowed to wear this outfit that they give to you, the shirt and the short and anything else unnecessary, and you can't wear it. So I had to explain the reason and show materials. Look, I'm working in VR. I have been working on this. I am a pioneer in this. I want to represent VR. I want to represent women developers, and it was hard. And after I managed to get the authorization, you go there to run, right? The torch, they give you the torch in the middle of the streets, and you wait for the other person to come with the torch and pass you the fire, right? And when I have the torch on my hands with the fire, ready to run, this security guard come running. No, it's not authorized. What is this thing on your head? What is what is that thing? Like they didn't know what it was at the time. What is this on your head? They kept running that, and I was explaining it's authorized. And after a long time, people start screaming in the streets, authorize it, authorize it. Man, that was
awesome.
a moment in history. And then so a woman, a reporter that was in the bus, she came running. Hey, she's authorized. I saw it. And they finally let me run with the VR headset. But it was an unforgettable moment, you know. All for VR, you know, all for VR. Yeah.
Well, let's get to Pixel Rip. We have a little trailer for those of you who haven't seen it yet. We'll just play it up here. Hold on. And by the way, just a reminder, you can just, if you have questions, just ask, just hit the audience questions button on the right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
That's it! Take yourself with that infernal light box to the headmasters at once!
That's awesome. Okay, so this game is like super meta because you are in a video game, playing a video game. And how did you come up with this idea?
So when I had to come up with the design of the game, I was struggling for a long time at the NFTS, right? When you have to finally do your final project. But then I had this weird dream that I have conscious dreams, and I remember them really clear. Maybe some people had here conscious dreams before. It's a crazy thing. You are actually aware of what was going on in the dream. And I remember really clear. I was playing a game on the TV, and I was in my living room. And the game was like an Atari graphics. And then we start playing this game, the game started like evolving pixel. And they start evolving for like Nintendo graphics and then 3D graphics. And at the end of the dream, the game and the TV and the world was all merged in one. And, you know, everything was like realistic. And I woke up with that. I start from the idea of, wow, I'm going to make a game that you go back and you live how video games evolved and changed in the 80s. That's something that happened, and it was such an amazing thing seeing the industry of video games born and changing. It was crazy. And so I really want to have that feeling. People go back and see this game, see a game changing and evolving. Like, remember when you play Sonic, you want to see, I want to see how Sonic's going to look now, and I want to see how Mega Man is going to look, and how you follow those games that you like, and you see them evolving. So that it starts from the idea, but of course, during 4 years, a lot changed, and a lot of things like bugs became part of the game, and I got team members that everyone kind of contributed with ideas, and then we start building this game. But that's the core idea that starts from, like, that's where you're born from, this dream.
You guys, if you guys, you're a person in the game playing the game, and you have to like not let the teacher catch you. And I swear that was the most stressful part of the game. I honestly was like, I just want to play the game. Like getting caught was kind of scary. Is that teacher based on someone you know? By the way.
um, yeah, I have memories of school. I didn't enjoy much my time at school, to be honest. I was one of the kids sitting in the back. I was always filing paper. I was terrible student. I don't. I have bad memories of some really bad teachers, but I think she represents all these bad memories together. It's a little bit much worse than the teachers I have, I think. But it's just yeah, she's. We tried to make a cartoon version of some kind of exaggerating her a little bit, but everyone can relate to it because everyone had kind of this moment that you're trying to do something like hiding from the teacher and stuff like that. So everyone feel like that feeling of you doing something wrong and you're hiding from the teacher, and the idea of you playing a game in a classroom, many players can relate to that. Even the new generation, they go and say, "Oh, this is like nowadays." But I don't play on my Game Boy. I play on my iPhone, for example.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear kids like play Fortnite in the classroom, and it's disruptive. It honestly was a little too stressful for me to do this part. And then I played it around Halloween, and that was also scary because there's a scary level in there, right?
So Ricardo just got here. Hey,
Oh yeah,
Ricardo,
I was just gonna say.
He's the CEO of Harvard, the publisher of Pixel Rip. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hey. So that actually was perfect timing. That was my next question was, tell me about your team and who you work with.
So right now, I'm happy that finally I got like a team and a support. Like before I was alone, it was a student project, but last year, actually I met Ricardo in one of those events, which we just spoke about how important it is. You go to events and you meet people and you have a presence in events. I actually met in it was the first VR event in Brazil back in 2015. 16, yeah, long time. And then we met there, and then we keep in touch. And then last year, Ricardo was like announcing, "Oh, we are building this company basically focused on just immersive experience, VR, AR." And I was like, "Oh man, let's talk." And then we ended up being like becoming partners. And then now Avery published Pixel Ripped, and not just giving the support financial, but most importantly, giving like co-development team support. So now actually I ended up coming back to Brazil last year because I was moving, I was living in England, America, and then this was a big reason for me to go back. And now, yeah, I'm living like one street away from Harvard now. And we now have a team, like, so we are now, for example, there is the CTO, Zed, which is working with us in the project. I have like 3D artists and 2D artists in Harvard. They also participate in the project. Like the poster was done by Galdino, and there's the artists like Blanco. We have a lot of people in Harvard. Like right now, we're actually starting the new Pixel Rip. So the core team of Pixel Rip, we have Pedro, which is a game designer. We have Isaías, like really good tester, and also like developer. So yeah, it's not just the team that works in the project full time, but we also have support from the whole company. So it's really good to have this structure when you're doing a game and releasing. Like, so all the little things that before I was alone, I was doing all the company stuff, not just the game. And now having a company supporting, it's like gold, you know. Like many times I struggle during these 4 years to find good partners. You know, you sometimes you find investors that want to change the game, make an RPG. Let's take this teacher out. Let's not make VR. Let's charge people monthly. And then it's really important. It's really gold when you can find a partner that actually understands the design and respect.
Right.
And this has been really great. And we're now focusing, continue working together. The next Pixel Rep already started. The goal is now releasing every year Pixel Rep.
That's the thing.
Not every 4 years, yeah, but every year we plan to release a Pixel Rep. I have more pictures.
Okay, so here's the TED Talk, and it was very inspiring. So I'm just gonna summarize by saying that you had a really awesome job in Brazil that everyone wanted, and then you started selling pies. Then you took a class to run your own business, and then that's when you decided to ask yourself, what do you really want to do? That I think that's a actually sounds easy, but it's really scary. But I know a lot of people, especially that I met in VR, who have aspirations to do other things like build games or work in VR. So do you have any advice for people who are looking to do what they really want to do, but it's hard to start?
The question that really helped me to change my life was actually by in this course where I was preparing, right, to open my business. I think that question really helped me because I think the advice I'll give is everyone should make this question. Everyone should question themselves every day, you know, like the question was like that. Basically, imagine you're born today. You don't have a career, you don't have any course you've done before, you don't have a company, you don't have any background, even forget about family or friends. Or imagine your life started fresh today and you have a chance to restart over. What career would you choose? You know, it's kind of like a way to see a clear, okay, without this, because usually in life you get these choices based on the other decisions we've done before, and you ended up seeing these limitations of options that you have, right? And you limit yourself too much. And when we see that way, we ended up making it easier for us to see what is clear, what we really love, what is our real passion. And I think that really helped me to find myself. And I think if you are in doubt and you're trying to find your true love, your career, I think that question really helped. Try to just imagine what you want and what would you love to do, and try to make this decision based on just you, what you think, and try to look at your life and what you love your whole life, and not just like what my parents think or my friends think, what I should be doing, or the society expect you to. And I think that really helped to make the right decision, you know, not being, I was lost in, I was making pies and working at the Justice Council. I was all over the place. And that really helped me to find myself and finally find my true love.
That's awesome.
That's the advice.
Let's give her a lot of hearts for that. That is
Yes,
really, really cool and inspiring. Looks like we do have some questions, so I'm going to call on Matt.
Hey.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, congratulations on the release of a great game. I'm a child of the 80s. It looks amazing. I can't wait to play it. My question is it going to be coming out on the Quest? Because I've got a lot of friends who are waiting for the Quest to come out, and it would be nice to pitch this at them.
Thanks thanks a lot for Ricardo. Can we say that? I mean, what you say now is that we are planning to, and we are working on that to have the game released for the Quest. And that's what we can say now. The plan is to release the game for the Quest, but I can't go and say for sure. But
but you
we want to be a
yeah.
release title for the Quest, and we are trying to. Yeah.
Great news.
Hopefully.
Awesome. Edna, did you have a question? No, you just press the button because she doesn't know how to follow rules.
Do you play other games other than, like, what other VR games do you play?
I was actually playing Pavlov today. I saw you play a lot of Onward, right? We should
just a little
actually
bit.
The other day I was going to play with Vivian.
Yeah, you were supposed to play with us, but then
I had
Caleb
a
played
problem
with us.
my setup.
And you guys, there was a fire in your building, and Caleb was like, "It's okay. It's still, it's not hot yet."
I think my favorite game is still Beat Saber from the VR genre. I really like Pavlov and Onward. It's kind of my cup of tea. I love first-person shooter games. I came from Counter-Strike. I love Counter-Strike. I used to play a lot of Battlefield and Call of Duty, and Left 4 Dead is still one of my favorite non-VR games. And we've been playing a lot of Zombie Nazis. Anyone play Zombie Nazis?
No, I haven't heard that one actually.
Right now, I have been playing a lot of old school games too, for research. So I have the Nintendo Classic.
It's always for research. Yeah.
I think that's when I spend the most time when I'm playing games. I think it's when I'm playing old school games for research. Like we just finished Donkey Kong, Mario World, and I really want to go through and play the new Mega Man series. It's hard when you're developing. You're like, you don't have the time that I used to have to play games. Like actually, I feel I have a lot of fun making games. So it's really hard to balance where I'm gonna have fun making game or playing games, and you ended up not playing as much as you used to when I was a gamer. I used to spend more time. I wish I could spend more time playing it.
Well, actually, for the last like several episodes, the guest has always like left the show and gone to play Onward with us, so we can go do that too. Edna is actually she was at OC5. She competed in Onward there, so shout out to her. Thanks for coming. Okay, well, we're going to I think close out. We have 3 keys to give away, and I couldn't think of what to do, like either like trivia, but who knows, a dance contest. So I think we're gonna do it like Pixel Ripped, where you're trying to not get caught by the teacher. Well, how about you try and get caught by me? So the first people to contact me and post a comment of the program right now on Twitter, on Facebook, in Discord, wherever, the first 3 people, you're gonna get a copy of the game either on Steam or Oculus. I say, hey, no, stay put. Right, Matt, I see what you're doing. Stay put. Right? I'm kidding. But real quick, Anna, thank you so much for coming. We will play Onward because I have a feeling that you are kind of scary probably in there, and that sounds totally cool. Schmidt, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to say comment so I could get a free key. Does that one count? I just sent you a message.
Okay, people are sending messages right now. Stop it. Don't. Love letters? Guys, come on. Maybe. Good try. We'll talk offline. But real quick, guys, next week, we are going to have some of the VR spies. We don't know all because they're all spies, so we don't know what their
There's
schedule
one
is.
spy here.
There's one spy here. Oh, he's hiding back there. So we will have the spies on, and it's going to be really cool because they're actually really funny, awesome, nice guys. So looking forward to that next Thursday. It's getting close to the end of the year. Thank you so much. That was really inspiring. I love your TED Talk. We linked it up.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna go check my Twitter. It probably blew up with a bunch of people wanting copies of the game. So thank you guys. Try Pixel Rips if you haven't yet. It's awesome. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Thank you. You're really good.
I almost broke something.
Oh, you need something here. Oh, that's good dancing. That was awesome. Thank you. And there's some people in the other room right now. So if you follow into the main room, like on me, if you're friends, you can come into the main room and ask questions.